That's Fires of Rome with songs as yet unsung right here on Free Association with Mark Lane, and I'll be coming at you. Why do I keep doing that? Keep saying coming at you. Bad radio. Get out of here. Quit doing that coming at you business. But what's next? That's the kind of talk show host I guarantee I'll be. I'll have great affiliates. You ever hear that? They call into some talk shows. Oh, from our great affiliate in San Francisco. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, anyway, as I said, songs yet unsung. We'll be looking at the Walkmen, Block Party, Citizen Monday. We'll have these artists and more right here on Free Association with yours truly, Mark Lane, and I will be broadcasting until 6 o'clock on this Wednesday afternoon. But I mean, if you want to go ahead and dictate the playlist, I am all for that option. 918-343-7913 is the request line, and later on today's show, we'll bring you the headlines, the weather. We'll have jokes for you, and on this edition, we'll have some Mark Lane verses. You don't want to miss it. But let's stay informed here. Let's go on to the headlines. Senate GOP considers filibuster on Obama judicial nominee who compared pregnancy to slavery. Republicans are considering a filibuster aimed at blocking the confirmation of Don Johnson. No, that's not Nash Bridges or Miami Vice. Dawn, like a woman's name, like at the crack of dawn. Don Johnson, who conservatives claim once compared, quote, forced pregnancy with slavery. Oh, well, so yeah, okay, sure. You believe that story? I don't. Do a betting pool with some of your friends. Here, this will help stimulate the economy. Have like a nationwide betting pool to see if the Republicans actually filibuster. This out of MSNBC.com. Pentagon spends $100 million, million with an M, on cyber attacks. What? Military leaders says? Military leaders says, not leaders. Well, okay, enough of the grammar. So the Pentagon spent more than $100 million in the last 6 months responding to and repairing damage from cyber attacks and other computer network programs. The Pentagon won't say how much of the $100 million cost was due to outside attacks as opposed to viruses and other problems triggered accidentally by Defense Department employees. Oh, so like a Defense Department employee opened up a forward that had a virus in it? I can see that. And so now they're going to spend $100 million in Troll Patrol. Another one out of MSNBC here. 1 in 5 in the United States skip drugs or split pills to save money on prescription drugs. Well, here's one way that you can save on prescription drugs. Look under the nooks and crannies, under the eaves, on the floor of your counters. Look under your counters. You might see a couple of pills that fell down under there. There's your free medication. Oh, this one's interesting. You remember Tom Brady? He got married to some supermodel over the weekend there. Anyway, gunshots were fired at his wedding there. I didn't. There were some Jets fans that showed up. Oh no, the armed bodyguards. Oh, they were shooting at the paparazzi. Oh, that's according to People magazine. Okay. And speaking of sports here, UConn, they'll definitely be shooting guns for sure to celebrate, their sixth national title in the course of history here. UConn's women, they won their sixth Final Four last night in St. Louis, and they were 39-0, undefeated, and they beat the Louisville Lady Cardinals there 76-54. Don Imus was not reached for comment. And there was another story I didn't get to in headlines. It's insane, this story. But I won't bug you with it right now. We'll get back to the music. But for the teaser, a Wyoming teen spends nearly $5,000 in text messaging fees. Can you believe this? It's insane. You have to hear this story. So to dedicate for that story here, we have The Killers. Why did I pick The Killers? Well, because The Killers, the text messaging, obviously killed the phone bill. And obviously the teenager here, she took the parents' expenses for a joyride. Joyride by The Killers. 918-343-7913 is a request line. We have some REM coming up right after this. That was REM with Radio Free Europe right here on Free Association with Mark Lane, and that was a request, which you can make as well at 918-343-7913. Please hold your calls until I get done with this story about the teenager that was text messaging, racked up nearly $5,000 in text messaging fees. It's utterly unbelievable, and I have to share this with you, you know. And before that, we had the Killers with Joyriding and Citizen Monday with Ladrones. I don't know what Ladrones translates into out of Spanish into English, but I know that $4,756.25 translates into a big chunk of change for a middle income family like this. This is out of Cheyenne, Wyoming, out of the Denver Post. In 1 month, this 13-year-old girl sent 10,000 text messages and received about the same, you know, so to put that up to 20,000 text messages there, all while her family's plan did not include free texting. Oh, so the parents thought this method was disabled, and so they had no idea this was going on. And so their cell phone carrier charged them for each incoming and outgoing text. So it's like, what, 20 cents a pop there? You bring it up to nearly $5,000? Yeah, it adds up pretty quick. So, yeah, the father here said, it just hit us like a rock, like you're stepping into a bus. And yeah, the bill, it was legitimate, I'll tell you. Let's see. This is the father again. She went from A's and B's one semester to F's in 2 months. But why? Because she was texting in school. And you see this at college, I'm sure. You see people, they sit there and they text in the middle of class. I have no idea what they could be texting about. None at all. And what are they talking? Are they talking about big ideas? Are they saying, well, yes, I believe that there is no alternative to climate change but to alter the industrial movement, which seems to have taken on a new phase. We must resort to green energy. Are they having text messages like that? No, they're saying like IDK, LOL, BFF, all that kind of stuff back and forth to each other. Small-minded conversation.
Ladies and gentlemen, in this corner weighing 120 pounds soaking wet, your Fort Smith Fireball, your champion of chicken, your deluxe dueling DJ, he's cocked, locked, and ready to rock, Doc. It's Mark Lane!
Alright, so I have a problem. The problem is that I lock myself out of my house periodically. The good news is I live next door to my landlords who have the key. So, you know, I go over there, hey, how you doing? I lock myself out, give me thank you. And then I go, you know. So anyway, it's been getting to be a hassle. I mean, it just is. So I went and finally, after 2 years, got a spare key made for my house. What does this have to do with anything? Well, I'll tell you. So I keep the spare key in my car in case, you know, I locked out. Just go to my car. There it is. Blah, blah, blah. Here's where it gets interesting. Sunday night, I go to the new 24-hour computer lab at the Student Center. There, the Centennial Center, they call it, to do homework Sunday night. And I'm there at about 9:30, you know, because the library, they close. And you can't be on. So I go to do the work there, and I grab the stuff, get out of the car. Okay, my laptop's gonna be in there. I'll just lock the door, lock it, close the door. Oh, do you have your keys? No, I don't have my keys at all. My keys to my car are locked inside the car. Here's where it gets interesting. My spare keys for my car are in my house, which, I mean, is within walking distance of campus. But I can't get into my house because my spare key for my house is in my car. See? So, I mean, there's no way. I had to call the landlords at 9:30 and say, on a Sunday night, are you guys still up? Oh, good. Thank heaven you still are. Look, I locked myself out of the house. Can you just go over and unlock my house, and I'll take care of the rest. Don't worry about it. And the 14-year-old, he overheard the conversation on speakerphone, and he's homeschooled. as I was, and I give him a hard time about it. Oh, did he ever rib me when he heard it? He said, "Oh, so the barefooted ex-homeschooler from Arkansas locked himself out of a house, huh?" And he laughed at me. Oh, finally, I went. So I go out to my car. I'm thinking, now wait a minute. There has got to, what if, just what if, and I explored that what if option. And one of my doors was actually open, and the whole thing was called off. The neighbors didn't have to come, but after that, I was pretty wrecked as far as emotionally and mentally. I was like stumbling over stuff inside of the 24-hour computer lab. It was like Mr. Bean goes to the computer lab after that. I couldn't think.
Installment of Mark Lane Versus. Tune in next week for more exciting action, adventure, and romance.
The views and opinions expressed by Mark Lane do not necessarily reflect the opinions held at this station. Mark Lane does not actually support these physical violence as a means of problem solving. No animals were actually harmed during the making of this broadcast.